Stanislav, what are the best options for IT companies to relocate to the US in 2025 and get the visas that will allow to start working in this beautiful country? Guys, today I'm gonna cover the answer to this beautiful question, and also you will learn how to get a free evaluation of your case. Let's go! Hello, my dear friends. My name is Stanislav Shamayev. I'm a licensed business immigration and corporate attorney in Miami, Florida. Today, I'm covering this important subject of business and investment visas that are good for relocating your IT business in the US. But before I begin, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Smash that like button, smash the bell button not to miss the future videos on this topic. And of course, you doing those give me a little bit of love, and I feel appreciated for the time I spend on creating this valuable content for you. What are the main visas I'm going to cover today? First of all, EB-5, the large investment visa. Second of all, E2, small investment visa. And third of all, the L1/EB1C visas. So all of them are different, all of them are very important. Stay tuned to understand the background of those visas and whether you are a good fit for those. Let's begin with the biggest ones, the EB-5, the large investment visa. And by the way, guys, if you didn't know, if the visa begins with EB, employment based, that means this is an immigrant visa that gives you green card, right? And the green card goes to you, your spouse, and your children below 21 years old who are not married. So let's say you are a family of 4, mama, papa, and 2 kids. So if you get approval for EB visa, that means that you will get 4 green cards for your entire family. The parents, the grandparents, they don't come in, okay? Your parents will come in once you get the American passport in 5 years after getting the green card. EB-5 is for those of you who have large budget. And today I'm going to cover only the active investment EB-5 visa. Why? Because there is a passive investment, but again, we're talking about relocating IT businesses to the US, so that falls within EB-5 active investment visa. And the criteria behind this visa is to invest $1,050,000 in your own company and create 10 jobs within 2 years after the approval of your initial petition. Basically, all we need to do is show 3 things. We have the money on the bank account of the American company. We have the proof how we made that money, so the proof of funds. And number 3, show them the business plan that provides the information about how we're going to spend this money and how we're going to create the jobs in the US. EB-5 is a great way for you to relocate your IT business in the US, provided that you have the large budget to sponsor this business. And I know a lot of you like, oh God, Stanislav, who has $1 million? And if I had $1 million, I don't have to come to the US. I know, I hear this from you guys when you come to the complex immigration planning or when you come to my streams on Thursdays when we discuss different issues. But again, don't measure yourself by the capabilities of other people, all right? Maybe some of you should really consider this program, especially if you're from India or from China, because you guys have huge backlogs for all other type of employment-based petitions, so EB-5 it could be the only option for you. So this is visa number 1. Visa number 2 is E2. 2 for E2. Stanislav's gonna rap for you guys. So send me a good beat, I'm gonna rap for you for the next stream. E2 does not work for all the countries in the world. So make sure that you find your country in a list of so-called treaty countries. A treaty country is a country that signed a treaty agreement with the US that allows to file for E2 visa. So E2 visa, as you understand from the name, is not immigrant visa. It's a non-immigrant visa, but it has no limit on how long you can stay in the US. You can extend it indefinitely, as long as your business brings economic impact. So, but let's start from the beginning. What we need for E2 visa? Number one, the country, the proper passport. Okay, for example, Pakistan is good, Indonesia is good, all Europe, Germany, France, Portugal, Israel is good, Ukraine, Moldova, Georgia, Azerbaijan, and some South American countries. Okay, so the list is pretty big. So that's number one. Number two, you must have the idea of business, of startup, or you must be purchasing an existing business in the US. That's number two. Number three, the investment must be $100,000 or more. This is very important. And out of this amount, you have to spend about $60,000 to $70,000 at the moment of filing your petition. But Stanislav, what if I get denied? I'm gonna lose some of that money. That's the purpose of this visa. That's the criterion, that your money must be at risk at the time of filing the petition. So without that risk of losing that money by the business mistakes or whatever happens in the future, or by the way of denial your petition, that should be a part of the file. Okay, so it's kind of weird, right? Like, if I don't put the money at risk, I will not be approved, but if I put the money at risk, I also may be denied. All right, but that's where it is, guys. We cannot do nothing about it. But if you do all correct, if you do everything Stanislav and team tells you, the chances of denial is very slim, all right? But it's still possible. So that's number three. Number four, you must provide the proof of funds of the money that you spent on the business. It's very important. We need to show how you made that money and that you paid the taxes. And of course, we should provide the business plan, okay? Especially if it's a startup business or even existing business, it's a good idea to provide that piece of document to show to the immigration officer that you understand how you're going to develop your business. Now, the most common questions, Stanislav, will my spouse be able to work on E2 visa? Yes. One of the biggest advantages of E2 visa that the other spouse will be able to get the EAD, the work permit, and work anywhere in the US, including your company. Question number two, do I have options to switch to the green card from E2 in the future? Yes, and I actually have a bunch of videos on that, but just keep in mind that there are a few options how you can go from E2 to another immigrant visa. So we covered EB5 and E2, the investment visas. Now I'm going to cover L1/EB1C, also great visas for IT companies, for IT startups. And why do I discuss L1 and EB1C in the same topic? Because L1 and EB1C are sister visas. Basically, it's the same concept, but L1 is non-immigrant, but dual intent. But an EB1C is the immigrant visa for the same criteria. Of course, it's the same criteria, but looked at differently by the immigration officer. So let's start from the beginning. So L1 visa, for those of you who have a company outside of the US, and that company employs either 15 employees plus, or because it's IT business, most likely, that could be 7-8 professionals, like IT people who do the code and things like that. Basically, IT-based company with people who do the IT work, or it may be a more complex structure, where it could be IT people, but also everybody else who do other functions in the company. So it's either or, and of course, you're at the top of the company and you manage the whole thing. You've been doing this for at least a year, and that allows you to register the affiliated company in the US, and affiliation means the same ownership. You own the company outside of the US and you own the company in the US, at least 51%. In the US, you have two options, the startup and the purchasing of the existing business. If it's a startup, make sure you understand that I want to have 5 people working in your business at the end of year 1 of your operations. If that's not the case, L1 visa is not for you. And by the end of year 3, you must have about 8 people working in a business. 2 or 3 of them are on a managerial position. And that's actually the transition from L1 to EB1C, to have an operational business for at least a year with at least 8 people working in it, 2-3 managers, and then linear administrative employees, and you're at the top, and you then could get the green card. Okay, and that's EB1C. So usually we start with L1 and then transition to EB1C once we get to the point that I just described. So those are great visas if you have the working, running business outside of the US, and this is a perfect transition from non-immigrant to immigrant petition and getting the green card. Now you have these 3 options, EB5, E2, and L1, EB1C. Now, Stanislav, how do I actually know if my case is good? You got to get the free evaluation of your case. The link is below this video. Click on it and you could find the investment visas and business visas. Those are 2 different forms. You can file both or either one of them, and within 2 days I'll get back to you with initial analysis and let you know if you have the potential. Look for the word potential. If you find it, I will invite you to the complex immigration planning, where I will build the strategy, the winning strategy of your case to get you approval for one of those visas. And last but not least, what's number 1 mistake in all these visas that I mentioned to you, which gives you the denial of the petition? And I believe that's the wrong approach in collecting the documents. Because having something in the case and describing that in the case are 2 different things. Not only you have to have the proper documents, but you have to have the proper description of those documents. So of course, when you work with my team and myself, this is not a problem, because we have all the processes set up, we have all the templates of all the examples, and we have years and years of experience, right? So there is no room for the mistake. But if you work with somebody else, make sure not only they provide you the list of documents, but also they provide you the means how to describe those documents, because remember, these are 2 different things. Get that free evaluation, come to the complex immigration planning, and then hire my team for complete case filing. Immigration to the US is easy as 1, 2, 3. Smash that like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, I have Telegram, Instagram, and other social media. My name is Stanislav Shamayev. I'm a lawyer of the future. Your future begins here. Good luck.